I'd like to welcome everyone to Willis ISD's Districts Dynamics for March the 2nd, 2016. I'm your host, Superintendent Tim Harkrider. As always, education is exciting. Great things are happening in Willis ISD, and we stand together as one team with one purpose, focused on the success of each student each and every day. Our February MVP was Miss Caitlin Weeks of Metter Elementary. She believes that getting students involved is the key to learning. When she puts on shows, the students are the ones running the equipment, the lights, and the props. Students respond to this interactive philosophy. You walk in her class and you will see students who watch her intently, striving to follow her every move and direction. They excitedly approach each new task and work to achieve perfection. They sing, they play instruments, they clap, tap, and snap to the beat under her watchful eye. In addition to teaching these artistic skills, she guides her students through the lessons on the planets or the parts of the speech with a musical twist. Caitlin says that we learned our ABCs by singing, so why stop there? Mrs. Weeks also is one of unique teachers at our lower levels at the elementary, or specials teachers, or electives at the secondary level. She sees all 763 students each week at Metter. She does an absolutely fantastic job, and we're definitely glad she's on the Willis ISD team. And with our focus on students, we felt that it was a time to begin a tradition of recognizing those who exemplify ideals that we seek to encourage. They don't have to be a straight A honor roll student. They can be, but they should demonstrate diligent effort to succeed. Other criteria for our award include exemplary character, excellent behavior, good citizenship, and attendance. And the first Willis ISD secondary and elementary students of the month are Willis High School's Nicole Toth and Dalton DeFrance of Hardy Elementary. Dalton is a character-driven, self-disciplined, dependable, responsible student, has a positive attitude and outlook on life. I was at Hardy the other day. They performed a Black History kind of a play and a skit, and Dalton was the director. And Coach Tammy Snyder stated that he is willing to go the extra mile for his school, community, students, and teachers. He does the right thing even when no one is looking. And Willis High School healthcare instructor Katrina King stated that Nicole has a stellar academic record and will graduate this year with an associate's degree from Lone Star College. Nicole also helps her classmates study and gives her time with no expectation of receiving anything in return. She has a passion to serve others with humility, will be a tremendous asset to the medical community. And if you had heard Katrina talk about Nicole, and if it was your daughter, you would have been extremely proud. Obviously, she had a big effect on her teacher, Mrs. King, and also Mrs. King on Nicole. And I think both of these students are great representatives of Willis ISD. I'm very proud that they're both the first recipients of Willis ISD secondary and elementary students of the month. At our regular February meeting, Willis ISD trustees approved the 2016 school calendar. Featured dates of this calendar because it is a little bit different. Kids will be excited, maybe parents, maybe not parents because they're going to get out a little bit earlier. But you'll get to start your summer vacation a little sooner. First school day, start date is August the 22nd. And we have a week off as Thanksgiving as always, a 2-week winter break. Spring break will be the third week in March again, and the last day of class is Friday, May the 26th, which is the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. The calendar was selected through a process that included input from each Willis ISD campus staff member, as well as the District Improvement Committee and all campus principals. So we're excited about that 16-17 school calendar. Another business, during that February board meeting, trustees voted to approve the 2016-17 program of studies. It adds several new classes at Willis High School, including Money Matters, Touch System Data Entry, Business English, among others. Robotics and Design 2 was added at Bravo Middle School. Also, other items of business, we purchased 5 new buses to replace older vehicles, which is kind of our standing operating procedure each year. Also purchased $30,000 of athletic uniforms for various sports. We started a uniform account versus adding money to supplies accounts. We just, as a district, we purchase uniforms every 3 years at the varsity level for the high school. Those uniforms are passed down to JV and 9th grade teams. And at the middle school levels, we purchase uniforms for 8th graders. They're passed down to 7th graders. And we also entered into a contract with the company to kind of save us some money, as well as large purchases. Our coaches get price breaks, which comes in handy for us and makes their money go a little bit longer. And also, the board approved the application of a low attendance day waiver for Brattle Middle School for January 28th, 2016. And the board approved the expenditure of funds in excess of $25,000 for architectural and other services in connection with our 2015 bond projects. The planning aspect of our bond is moving forward very well. We have first item up will be our turf on our football field, looking like we'll begin construction on that with our fingers crossed on May the 2nd, which gives us a good timeline to get finished before the beginning of the year. They'll move over and complete the track at Bravo Middle School. After that, and then June the 4th, when school's out, we'll begin the driveway expansions at Turner, Cannon, and Metter. We're going to hold off right now on the Brabham driveway expansion until we get the expansion on the east side of the building going. Once we get that established, the new driveway extension at Brabham will be completed sometime during the 2016-17 school year. And other great news from around our campuses include members of the Willis High School DECA Club, who are our guest on our February show, decided to test their abilities against teams from the Houston and Beaumont area. The effort of these 4 members was rewarded with a trip to state competition in San Antonio, which was February 25th and 27th. Jasmine and Norelli worked as a team describing their community service project to provide blankets to those in need in a 30-page paper. Justin advanced in accounting applications, and William in marketing management. We wish them the best of luck at state. Great group of kids to interview last week, extremely mature, motivated, and driven. Almost 300 creative Wildcats entered the annual Rodeo Art Show. We have several lucky winners whose work will be on display at the NRG Center during the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, which begins March the 1st and runs through the 20th. Mrs. Buckner established the Cannon Science Investigators in 2005 at Cannon Elementary. It started out with just 25 students. It's grown to over 50 members currently. The Science Investigators meet monthly to do projects such as egg drops, catapults, and water rockets. And she did this basically just to get kids excited about science. Students love these hand-on activities. At the end of the school year, the investigators attend an educational program sponsored by SeaWorld San Antonio, when students get to experience marine life behind the scenes. And one of her former students, who was at Cannon in 2008, wrote in a letter. She is currently a freshman at Texas A&M at Galveston, and she is majoring in marine biology. And she said she chose that path because of her trip with the Cannon Science Investigators back in 2008. And pretty exciting to give kids an experience, and that became her destiny. And Ms. Buckner also has some contacts at SeaWorld and looking at getting Cheyenne a job there this summer. So we're excited about that opportunity. It was a great story to share. And as we wrap up, the Texas School Public Relations Association Star Awards celebration was February 24th. Willis ISD received 26 awards, 12 gold, 6 silver, 3 bronze, and 5 best in category design, with districts less than 10,000 students. We're extremely proud of our communications director, Erin Kleinecke, and the great work she's done. And she came home. I'm not sure. I might have had to send a truck to pick up some of her awards to get her back. But as always, she does a great job of promoting the district and showing the great things that we're doing here with our staff and kids. And that wraps up our first segment. We'll be back after a short break.
Lone Star Internet Radio is now bringing you the weekly business hour show each Monday morning at 11 a.m. My name is Rick Schissler, and I will be your host. Each week, we will be bringing you local, area, and national business news that you can use. The program will also feature an interview with a local or national business person who will share their own experiences, successes, and failures in operating their businesses. Our show is for anyone who already owns a business, whether they work solo or have employees, and for those who are thinking about starting their own businesses. A bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Rick Schissler, and I am a Silver Fox advisor who has over 40 years' experience as a serial entrepreneur. As a part of our show, I will offer some advice and encouragement on our monthly topic, and I will take your questions by email at rschissler@silverfox.org or call into the station at 936-647-3776. See you on the radio Monday at 11 a.m. for the weekly business hour.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that texting and talking on the phone while driving are not only dangerous, but also illegal in school zones and other posted areas. Drive safely and alert.
Welcome back to Willis ISD's District Dynamics Show. I'm your host, Tim Harkrider, and I've got two guests here today, Willis High School health science teachers, Miss Katrina King and Melisa Carter. Ladies, how are y'all?
Fantastic.
Great. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Thank y'all for joining us. And this is the fun time of the program for me because of our guest. I always, I know obviously all of our guests, but many times I've had a chance to visit with you about your background, where you're from, and things like that. So I learned something new every part of this show. So this is an exciting part for me. I get to learn a little bit about each of you. So we'll start with Miss King. Miss King, you give us a little background information about yourself.
Well, I'm from Georgia, Kingsland, Georgia, and our school was called Camden County High School, and we were known as the Wildkats as well, which a year ago my husband needed to move to Texas, which is so funny because I landed right here in Willis, and also known as the Wildcats, and we're big sports fans, so that's interesting. And I've been a nurse for 32 years. And I've been teaching for the last 14.
That's awesome. Very good. Well, you've obviously got a passion for it.
Yes, yes, sir.
Very good. Miss Carter, how about you?
Well, I've been a nurse for about 25 years. I started out in correctional nursing at the prison. I'm from Huntsville, so that is about par.
Yeah, yes.
I went into emergency room nursing, so that is primarily where my background comes from. And then I took a little break and went into some commercial real estate and did some medical legal nursing.
Okay.
And then somehow I stumbled into healthcare, educational healthcare, which just so happened that I had a background. I did get my degree in education when I was at SAM. So it kind of fit. Lo and behold, I never figured that it would. But I've enjoyed it. This is my 4th year at Willis, and it's been a very big learning opportunity for me. I love my kids. It's something I never really thought I would do, but it's been a learning
I remember
progress.
4 years ago us trying to talk you into taking this position. Just to give you a little background, this was a program that had started off very well, and then it's very difficult to find the certifications that's needed to run the courses. And the person who was operating at that time left, and then the program kind of struggled. And then 4 years ago, I was also starting here at Willis, and we were able to get Melisa on our radar. And she was a little hesitant, obviously, from going to the private sector and getting into public education. It is a different world. But I can tell you, both of you ladies have done an outstanding job, because the growth of the program is amazing. We're going to talk a little bit more in detail about what the opportunities our kids have now just with being at Willis High School, and it's pretty neat. So we'll get into a little bit more details. Let's talk about 3 major components of the program right now before we get to CNA. The principles of health science. Katrina, can you talk a little bit about what's involved there?
Well, that's our introductory class, and that's where the students are taken from what is healthcare and work through all the different dimensions and organizations as the team comes together. So it could be in a hospital setting, a nursing home setting, out in the community with private sector. So this gives them a really good introduction. It gets them involved with the medical terminology and introduces them to the world of medicine.
Awesome. Well, I was in the high school this morning when a lot of the girls started coming back in from wherever they were this morning, and it was neat. They come in the scrubs and they're walking around, and it gives a different dynamic, because I know other kids are paying attention, like, okay, what are you doing now? Because I think it's allowing kids to look at their future as they're attending high school versus, okay, I'm going to graduate, now what do I do? The plans are in play even starting as early as your freshman year. So that was one dynamic I noticed today, because I'd forgotten you two were coming on, and I was like, well, perfect segue in. Ms. Carter, what about health science?
Health science is our 2nd-year program, which is eligible to anyone that has taken the principles of health science class. It is an application program. do have to qualify. We base our applications on attendance, grades, disciplinary. So we don't just take anybody into the program. We do have high standards for our program, and we like to maintain that because in this section, we do send the students out to facilities within the community. Right. And so we do want good representatives of our high school and of our district, of myself and Miss King, of you, of our program. So we have to, make sure that we have quality applicants and quality participants in the program. This is where they get to their first time wearing scrubs. Mm-hmm. They wear them to school. We go to the hospital or to one of the local clinics in the community, and they actually get to shadow actual healthcare professionals.
Awesome.
And so they get to see what they're really doing. They go to different areas each time, and they get to go for extended time periods. So it's not just an hour here or an hour there. So they almost feel like they're part of the staff. Right. So it's a really good hands-on experience for them with their eyes. Right. They actually, since they don't have a license, but they do get CPR certified, and they get a HIPAA certification, which has to do with privacy laws. Mm-hmm. So they get pretty in-depth training in this first year, and it kind of prepares them for their senior year as to if they want to go ahead and apply for one of the certification courses that are offered by Willis High School.
Awesome. And that's what I like about the program is they get a really good taste of, is this something I want to do? Is this a career? Sometimes you can only read so much in a book and talk to your teacher, but when you get out and you get the real world experience, it's cleared up really quick of, hey, I like it, I've got a passion, or oh Lord, I don't think I can do this.
Well, and because it's career and technology, we really try to make it like this is what they expect from you in real life. Right. Yeah, would your boss accept this? So we try to make it fun, but we try to make it realistic, what to expect. Mm-hmm. So I think they enjoy that.
And we're excited about the CTE Center that obviously is part of our bond project that we'll begin construction on next fall. And part of that dynamic will be your program out in the CTE Center and some new facilities and access that will even take the program to a different level. So we're definitely excited about that. And the last course here is our pharmacy technician class. Ms. King?
The pharmacy technician class is one of the most awesome courses that we have along with our Cna class. This is where the students, through online courses as well as going to the local pharmacy, and we're really trying to expand that. So if there's any pharmacies out there other than the main pharmacy that we're currently using, we would love this opportunity. The students have from August through December to get all the book knowledge and learn their 200 top drugs with a trade and generic name and learning how to compound and all those kind of things. And then they get to go out and they start with their hands-on experience with being a pharmacy tech trainer, and they actually have a license where they have a background. And so there's some cost involved with that the students have got to be able to pay for that and have a car to be able to drive to the local sites, because we only put 2 students at each of the pharmacies that we currently have. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this would be a wonderful opportunity to expand and get other pharmacies involved. The students are eligible to sit and take their pharmacy board after they graduate. They have to have their diploma in hand, and that we're scheduling all at the same time so that there's some resources and some camaraderie amongst their peers, and that we can go. And so we're hoping to see a success rate this year.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So this one's really going well.
Yeah, very good. Now let's talk a little bit about the new Cna Training Class.
This one is phenomenal as well. They were going over to the college, and we decided to bring it in-house when I got hired. And we have made a lab with some help, and we've the maintenance department over at the board has been phenomenal. These guys are fantastic. And we have a lab set up, and that the students have to have over 100 classroom hours and over 40 clinical hours. And we're using a local nursing home that the students are going and getting hands-on. And then we have applied for in-facility testing, so we got approved for that this month as well. And now our students will be able to test right here in our high school. That's awesome. We have May 12th and 13th already assigned for their testing dates, so we're keeping our fingers crossed and looking for 100% pass rate.
That's great. And when we were going through our bond planning process, and we had a committee and a lot of community members and stuff on there, and one of the areas of which kind of came the idea of the CTE Center was getting kids prepared for a career after high school, whether that was the college route or whether that what could we bring to them to I graduate high school, I can start a career based on what I did at high school. And then, if I decide to go more schooling later, I can do that. And I think your program obviously tailors right into what the community really felt like was important. It's also something I feel like is extremely important. We've got to give kids an opportunity when they step into high school at 14, 15 years old of, hey, you're going to blink and you're going to graduate. Do you have a plan? And sometimes, do mom and dad, do you have a plan? Sometimes our parents don't think about it until their kids get 17 and 18 and go, okay, what are we going to do? That planning should have started a long time ago. So we're hoping these courses will do that. Ms. Carter, talk a little bit about your HOSA program.
Well, the HOSA program is an after-school club that it's Health Occupation Students of America. 4 years ago when I started, there was probably less than 50 members. We've tripled that number. Mm-hmm. This is our first year with a lot of help from Ms. King. We went to state competition. We were fumbling through it, but we did have one person that is going to be qualifying and competing in state. But it is an after-school program. We try to get the kids encouraged. We are affiliated with the Montgomery County Medical Reserve Corps, so they can get volunteer hours for scholarships, for community service hours, for any kind of programs that they need. We encourage them to get out and get involved, because not only does it help them with the medical stuff, but it also helps them as a better person. As a healthcare provider, we're givers, so we have to learn to volunteer our time, and they actually enjoy it. They enjoy getting out there and volunteering for some of these bike rides, and being the water girl or the water boy. So we get them involved. We do fundraisers. We try to help some of the students, and this is our future goal, who want to do some of the certification programs, who maybe don't have the finances. So we're hoping to expand our program and our finances to be able to help some of the students that maybe can't always, do the programs that do require some of the funds.
That's great. I like the idea of we're such a me society now, and I think our kids are like that. What is it for me? What do I get? And the opportunities to go out and volunteer and just to expose them to doing something for others. Many times it opens their eyes because they've never had an opportunity to do that. They don't realize there is, in my opinion, and me personally, there's a greater reward when you're doing for others than when you get something. Getting something obviously is nice, but when you can go out and change somebody's life and put a smile on their face, it rings home. And to see kids volunteer and do stuff like that and come back and have some positive stories is a pretty cool experience for them.
Exactly.
So as we kind of wrap up, is there anything you'd like to add about the program, or if we had any new freshmen coming in next year who was interested in the profession, what would be your recommendations?
I definitely think their attendance, that we're really looking and striving for attendance just like an employer would. So when they're in ninth grade, setting that track and their behaviors, that would be phenomenal, that they would start really paying attention. The medical terminology, the reading comprehension, the science and math they need those courses. Like, these aren't courses that you're just going to kind of memorize and push to the side. That all in medicine in your career, that you need those. So the more advanced classes that you take from ninth grade till you get to 11th grade, the better prepared you're going to be, because this isn't just a job, it's a career. It's it becomes your way of life. And if they can start that at an earlier age, and then like you said, as we're growing, hopefully we'll be adding some more courses and stuff that are available, so that the ninth graders could start getting their feet wet with maybe a medical terminology class or anatomy, things like of that nature would be wonderful.
Well, that's good. And and as we grow as a district, obviously we're growing. We're up about 245 kids right now over the same time last year. Obviously demographics show that in about 6 or 7 years we'll be closer to 10,000 kids. The opportunity to grow and add staff to teach courses we don't offer is something we're definitely going to have on our radar and be ready to move forward. So thank y'all very much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yep. Y'all have a great day, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weisser, Mr. Whitetail, is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org/Conroe.
Heaven's Army of Resources and Recreation Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization featuring a 10,000 square foot building located at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas. At Heaven's Army, we offer over 26 different services free for all ages, from karate, dance, drug and alcohol classes, anger management, parenting, food and clothing pantries, to just name a few. We are supported solely by volunteers and private donations. Our main mission is to glorify God in all that we do. At Heaven's Army, we strive to be a hand up, not a handout. Come check us out at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas, or call for more information at 281-689-5864. You may also learn more about Heaven's Army by visiting our website at heavensarmyofresources.com.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that drinking and driving do not mix. Drinking and driving causes an alcohol-related fatality every hour in the United States. Stay sober and stay alive.
Welcome back to Willis ISD's Districts Dynamics. As we kind of wrap things up, we're going to go through our athletic update. We're in the spring season, so we've got plenty of things taking place. Girls and boys basketball seasons are both finished up. Boys had a solid year at 17 and 15. Our girls struggled just a little bit. Neither team made the playoffs. Boys ended up, I think, one game out. But both teams worked hard. Future looks bright. Both have some good young talent. So looking forward to seeing how things go on the hardwood next year. Track seasons get going. We're going to start off with girls track. Girls competed in the Tomball Memorial High School Wildkat Relays back on February the 19th. Some individual awards. We had Caden Neeson in the 1,600-meter run was second place. And the 3,200-meter run, she ended up third place. And as an individual top athlete division, she had a total of 14 points. For the 4x100-meter relay, we had Shay Richardson, Talisha Hatchett, Timbrisha Henderson, and Tiana Spivey in first place with a time of 51.91. Those ladies were burning it up. And similar team in the 4x400 relay, we got second place. It was Talisha Hatchett, Tiana Spivey, Victoria Burkhart, and Timbrisha Henderson. Wrestling had an outstanding year this year. Very proud of our wrestlers. Our goals for this year were accomplished by 6 wrestlers going to state. And at the state meet, Carson Dyer, Luz Medina, and Jonathan Jones each won a match. We're looking forward to next year. We'll have 9 regional qualifiers and 5 state qualifiers returning. It looks like it's shaping up to be a great 2016-17 year. Boys soccer last week had a big win at College Station High School, winning 3-1. Lady Cats soccer beat Caney Creek 2-1. Lady Cats currently are in a playoff position and holding strong, so hopefully they can finish the year on a strong note. Swimming and diving, we had 2 of our state finalists, our divers, competed at the state tournament. Callie Baton was a bronze medalist, and 4th place was Michaela Fleming. Very great showing. Kaylee's actually will be diving at Texas A&M next year. Michaela is just a sophomore, so she's got 2 more cracks at it. Both of them improved over their rankings last year at state, and I'm very excited about the production that those 2 ladies have had for the Willis Wildcats the last 2 years. Our boys track competed last weekend at Cy Ridge. We were the smallest team in enrollment numbers there and placed 5th out of 16 teams. Had a very strong showing for the first track meet of the year. Jody Archer finished 1st in the men's 100-meter dash. He finished 3rd in the men's 200-meter dash. Jamie Vega finished 1st in the men's 1,600-meter run and 4th in the 3,200-meter run. Grant Stevens finished 4th in the men's 300-meter hurdles. Christian Rodriguez finished 3rd in the men's shot put and 3rd in the discus, and Colton Todd finished 2nd in the men's district. So great showing by those guys. Our Lady Cat softball team, who's coming back from a huge 2015 year, was back at it. They left us to go to an Allen tournament up in the Metroplex. A bunch of big high-profile teams there. They were 5-1 when they left. They were 10-1 going into Saturday's game. I did not get Saturday's score, but off to a fantastic start, swinging the bat very well, getting strong pitching. So Lady Cat softball is doing outstanding. Our baseball team playing over in Rudder in a tournament this last weekend. They ended up going 1-2-1. Swung the bat pretty well, got decent pitching, played some close ball games, came out on top in 1, tied 1, and lost 2. So they're off to a decent start, and it's very early, obviously. And then we honored 6 of our senior athletes who committed to continue competing at the next level. Football players included Jamar Davis, Texas A&M Kingsville, Cody Hooks, Panhandle State University in Oklahoma, Sivion Munoz, Oberlin College in Ohio, and Christian Rodriguez at Northwestern State. Tiana Spivey, that we mentioned earlier, will be running at Sam Houston State. She is a state champion from 2 years ago and was 2nd place last year in state championships down in Austin in the 400-meter dash. Looking forward to her having a great senior year and obviously running close to home next year at Sam. And our diving sensation, Kaylee, that we mentioned earlier, will be going to Texas A&M. Very excited about our student athletes and the great job they do recognizing and representing what we do here at Willis. And about 3 weeks ago, had a UIL realignment. We do that every 2 years when the UIL sets new districts, so you could be in the same district. Ours changed a little bit. So for the 2016-17 and 2017-18 school years, our new district will include Brenham, Huntsville, Magnolia, Magnolia West, Tomball Memorial, and Waller. Any of you have been in Willis for many years. I think several years ago this was a very similar district to what we had. So that will start over with new competition in August. So things will shake up just a little bit. And upcoming events, Wednesday, March the 9th, the school board meeting at 6 p.m. at the Cargill Education Support Center. Friday, March the 11th is the end of our 3rd grading period. We're on 9-week rotations now, so we have 4 grading periods. Spring break will be March the 14th through the 18th. Friday, March 25th is a school holiday for Good Friday, and STAR testing, our first round, begins Monday, March the 28th. Remember to get connected, stay connected for everything Willis ISD. Check out our websites, download our app, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. Embrace the digital world of Willis ISD. Thank you for all that you do to support our school district, and we'll be back next month.